Hey you guys, it's Kristina Zias here from AfterBuzz TV, and we're at Body Electric on Melrose with Brian Keith Thompson. We're gonna get a tour of his place and interview this guy and find out what the whole deal is.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Okay, so I'm kind of in love with this space right now because it's very inviting, and there's a tattoo parlor right by where I live, and I always walk by it, and I'm like, no, like that place is way too serious for me to go into. Like, and I'm sure it's not, and I'm sure everyone there is super cool, but I would never feel comfortable walking in those doors. And you walk in to Body Electric, and it's completely different.
There is an energy in here.
There is. It's great.
And it's, I mean, when I started coming here as a client, I felt it. And it didn't look like this. I redecorated it. I kept a few key pieces, you know, but I believe that if you're going to be badass, you have to be badass from the floorboards to the ceiling. You can't just be badass at eye level. So, you know what I mean? Like everything, totally. The baseboards need to be clean. Behind everything needs to be clean. So it needs to shine. It needs to have love. You know, you can feel and see when something is loved. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When a guy loves his car, you can tell.
Yeah.
Fucking thing is immaculate. Yeah. When they don't, you can also tell, you know?
That's like my designer shoes are kept very well in like spotless boxes. Exactly. I love my shoes.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get it.
Exactly. So that's what this was. But I felt it the second I walked in here too. In 2001, I got one of my first professional tattoos here. And
so you had your first professional tattoo. So what were all the tattoos before?
They were like homemade.
Nuh-uh.
In a garage in Reseda.
No way. Isn't that extremely dangerous and scary?
Yeah. It is. My second tattoo ever was my last name across my back. And this guy was like this parolee from a gang in San Fernando. His name was Bobby. I remember that.
Yeah.
We're in a garage, and I tell him my last name. It's Thompson. Yeah. And he writes it down, and I'm 19. I'm nervous, and he writes it all out, puts it on my back, tattoos me, because he shows it to me. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Is it on your lower back?
No, it's across it's across my entire back. It's gone now.
Oh, okay.
This is 1992.
Yeah.
I get back to the Marine base.
Yeah.
I'm showing one of the guys in my platoon. I'm like, dude, you know, I just got a shot. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, it looks good. I'm like, is it straight? He's like, yeah, it's straight, but isn't there an M in your name?
No.
And I was like, yeah, right, dude. I go to the mirror. I'm like, Thopp. Oh my God!
What an ass!
Swear to secrecy, which didn't last. So when
everyone was making fun of you.
Making fun, they call you by your last name.
Rightfully deserved, though. No offense.
Yeah. All right. So I was my bag. I couldn't see. So it said Thompson instead of Thompson. So when they would put me on guard duty, they'd write my name on the board and they'd put an X on the M. Oh, dude, I was ridiculed forever. I mean, it was just constant.
And is that why you decided to get in the business? You wanted to make sure this mistake didn't happen to everyone else?
No, it actually happens fairly often. And I don't know why anymore, because you could just ask your phone how to spell it. And Siri will probably tell you how to spell it, you know? Like, there's no really excuse. But people do get nervous, and you're not thinking. You're thinking about the tattoo. You got all these other things going on, and you look at it, and you're like, yeah, that's good.
So would you say that's the person who's receiving the tattoo's fault or the tattoo artist? Because if you can't spell your name, I mean, no offense, you cannot blame the tattoo artist for that.
That's true. But it's both. It's both client and artist are responsible. But at the end of the day, the artist should double check, triple check, cover their bases, because the client's nervous. They're not thinking. And how great and refreshing is it when a tattoo artist stops and goes, you know what, hey, this is spelled wrong. You know, we've had people bring in stuff and it's not, right, so we change it. Now, if it's in another language, that's on you.
On them.
That's on you. That's totally on you. But yeah, I try to make sure that, it's embarrassing for, as my shop. I want to make sure my customers have confidence that they can come here and get something done the right way, because there's nothing worse than having something misspelled on your body.
So how'd you cover up that Thompson? You can't even, that's hard to even say.
Yeah.
What'd you cover it up with?
So long ago. So I didn't have a lot of money. I'm in the Marine Corps, dude. I was getting paid like $400 a month, right?
Yeah.
So no money, right? Couldn't go to a tattoo studio. And I went to a couple, and back then in the 90s, it was a whole different vibe. You didn't just walk in, like you wouldn't have walked into a tattoo studio and been like, I think I want to do, they would just be like.
By the way, I love your impression of me. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. But no, I wouldn't. You're right.
It was just a whole different scene. So I had these guys kind of they would make fun of you, you know, like dumbass and blah, 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 you know. So I just left, and I finally found this guy in the neighborhood where I was growing up, also a convict and heroin addict, and he would tattoo me for hours for like, you know, heroin, like $40 worth of heroin. He would tattoo me
Sounds
all
like
night.
a pretty good deal, yeah.
Yeah, why not, you know?
Yeah.
I was young and I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And he did this mural from the top of my back to the mid, and it was kind of looked very like gang inspired, you know, LA gang stuff. And I ended up a few years, you know, after being out of the Marine Corps, I ended up going to jail for a stupid mistake, hanging around the wrong people. And when I got out, I had these tattoos, and I didn't like the way I looked anymore. So I was working out at a gym in North Hollywood, and this guy named Gypsy, I'll never forget him, really cool dude, had tattoos all over him. And I asked him, you know, I told him I wanted to get a tattoo, I wanted to cover up. And he's like, oh, you got to go to this place, Body Electric. And that day, I got in my car and I came down here and I walked through the door, and 5 years later, I owned it.
That's wild.
Weird. It's weird. I didn't want to do it. It wasn't a dream of mine. It just one day came up. One of the artists that was tattooing me said it was up for sale, and if I wanted to be a partner with him, like a 10%, you know, silent partner. I said sure, because I love this place. And 2 weeks after that, he backed out, and the owner of the business called me, and 2 weeks after that, I owned 2 studios. And it happened so fast that I had a panic attack right afterwards, because it just hit me one night. I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, holy shit, I just spent my life savings on...
Like, what did I just get into?
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to get one. I don't know how to run, you know? I'm like, you know, and I think it was the Marine in me. I just was not going to fail.
Yeah.
And I slept on this floor right here for almost 5 months.
Okay.
Because
Home office. We get it.
Yeah. I worked so much. I was just like, I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
I gave every cent that I had. Everything. I cashed out my 401k, cashed out my pension, cashed out all my stock options, all my savings, everything. I just went like, it's like going to Vegas with everything you have and just you're like red 20.
See, I kind of love that, because especially in Hollywood, you know, or just, I mean, everywhere, but people talk about the American dream and about, you know, taking risks. And you think you're taking risks, but it's not really until like you give up everything sometimes that you really know what it's like to struggle and you make your dreams happen.
There was a producer, I forget his name, the producer from the first reality series Survivor. Do you know his? I don't remember his name. Well, I saw an interview before.
We're never going to get on the show now, by the way.
Yeah, shit. Whatever. He's a really cool guy. He did an interview, and they were like, you know, how did this happen? And, you know, he said, I just took risks. And in America, if you want to be, in this country, if you want to be rich, you have to take risks. You've got to gamble it all. And he did that with his reputation and all his money for that. And then it became, I mean, huge. Reality TV is the biggest thing since sliced bread. I mean, it still is huge to this day. We do a lot of shows in here.
Well, so I cover a show for AfterBuzz called Vanderpump Rules, actually. And we've seen
Jack 3 times.
Yeah, I know. And we've seen Jax Taylor. Has he been the person that's come in here all 3 times?
He's been 3 times getting covered up.
It's insane. So he's tattooed Stassi's name on him, Carmen, and then covered them up, right? Yeah. Okay, so does that happen often?
Not any. People are getting a little bit
wiser.
I think so. I think so. We don't do it as much, but there are cover-ups. We just did Love and Hip Hop. It hasn't aired yet, so I can't say what it was, but they came in and got tattooed. People are doing symbols or something that's they both have in common than just like a name. Because I think a name's not as cool either. It's like stamping, you know, who am I to say I'm your property? You know, Brian. You know, I think, you know, to me, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't ask a girl to do that for me. Now, if we wanted to get something that signifies what we are, that's different. I think that's cool. And then that's part of your life. So even if you're not with that person anymore,
it was still like a part of your history.
Yeah, and if someone can't accept that, then maybe they're not the one for you, because a true person is going to understand, an understanding person is going to know that, hey, that was the past.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Do you ever try and talk people out of their tattoos or piercings?
Piercings, not so much. I like to... For girls, I mean, who am I to tell you what you can and cannot do? I mean...
And you keep saying girls because more women come here, right?
Oh, yeah. It's mainly all girls.
That's so funny.
It's a tough job.
I don't know why. I think that is so cool that you have in the heart of Melrose this tattoo parlor where it's mostly women that come here.
95%.
I would never imagine that.
All girls, all day long.
That's so cool.
Beautiful girls from all over the earth. I just a couple were in here from Johannesburg, South Africa, right now, and she comes here every year when she comes to town.
That's
so
neat.
cool. Yeah, because they don't have any good piercing studios.
Really? I mean,
You'll be
not
surprised.
like LA.
Europe is not on the same page as us as far as when it comes to body jewelry. It's changing now. People are getting more educated and knowing that, when I first started charging what I charged, people were like, $75 for an ear piercing?
Yeah.
It's just an ear piercing. I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, you can just go get a haircut at Supercuts, or you can go to Giuseppe Franco.
Yeah.
What's the difference? They're both a haircut. I mean, one's charging you $500 and one's charging you $15. It's the person doing it, where it's being done. It's the quality of the products. It's everything. This is hand scraped Indian walnut. That green floor is Italian green marble. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're gonna have to pay for this stuff, and then I'm gonna give you all of my service. I don't care if there's 50 people waiting back there.
Yeah.
I do not rush my clients. I don't care if you're spending $75 or $705. It doesn't matter. I'm still gonna give you my time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's really important to building a lasting business, obviously, which I'm sure you've seen the effects of. So what I wanted to ask you is, obviously, like, there's, for fashion, right? There's trends that happen every season, every year. Do you think piercing and are tattoos the same way?
Tattoos are the girls in the early 2000s, what was the tattoo? Where was it?
Lower back?
Tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp. It wasn't called that in the lower 2000s, I don't think.
It was called the lower back,
Yeah.
and then it became the tramp stamp, and girls stopped doing it.
Yeah.
You know how to get a girl to stop doing something? Call it something horrible, and it ceases to exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it stopped. But that also, if you see a girl with one of those, you know what ear. Yeah, you know when she did it.
Totally.
It's the same thing with the ribs right now. And 10 years from now, you're going to be able to call these girls out. Oh, that was like 2010, 2015.
Is that really popular right now, the wrist? What else would you say is popular for a woman's tattoo?
Fingers are real. I don't know why. I don't agree with it. I think it's a mistake.
For on your fingers?
Yeah,
Why?
I think
He says this, but can you please show him your fingers?
I mean, it's different for me. Look what I do for a living.
Okay, fine.
So, if you had your fingers tattooed, I mean, you could limit your. Say you wanted to go to work for, let's say, NBC and be a national correspondent somewhere.
Yeah.
They may be like, no.
Yeah.
Why limit your growth somewhere? Because you don't know where you're going to go. You don't know what life is going to take you on which path, which journey. You have no idea. Dude, 10 years ago, if you would have asked me would I own a tattoo studio and be a piercer, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah.
I was a network integration engineer. I had no dreams of doing this, and boom, it's changed. But that's the beautiful thing about life too. But it's very popular, so I stopped doing it. I stopped.
Okay.
If you don't have visible tattoos, I do not let you tattoo your fingers.
Really? So if I came in here right now and I was like, Brian.
I wouldn't let you do it.
Brian, really? But you don't understand how badly I want a finger tattoo.
We'll
Like
do
a little.
somewhere else.
A little dolphin? You don't think that NBC
As
will
cool
hire
as that
me?
would be funny, yeah. I'm not saying they won't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I just don't think it's a good idea.
But I really
And
appreciate the honesty.
I have to have morals too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not, money's great. Don't get me wrong. I
Totally.
love money. The only people that don't have it, but I just think that certain things you have a moral obligation to also help people. And when you're young, you make sometimes bad decisions. And I just don't want anything, I want positive energy to go out. I don't want to just be, I just don't want to write on people and do whatever they want, like gang tattoos or negative, like racist stuff. We don't do that. Because why would you want to put that out there?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, some girls get mad when they can't get their finger tattoo. But it's kind of dying out now. Have you noticed? It's kind of, I think the wave has passed.
So what's next?
Right now, I think it's a lot. It's really, there's no really one thing. I mean, the lettering is still really popular right now.
Okay.
So anything, quotes, words, that's real popular right now. But, the ribs underneath the breast, right here is real popular.
What's the craziest place for the women that come in here where they request tattoos? Is it somewhere where they're like, oh, we're gonna have to bring you in the back to tattoo you?
The bottom of the yeah. Well, we don't really do a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean occasionally, but
And you said the bottom of the foot.
yeah, I've seen 2 people have got that done here. It doesn't last, but it's
'cause
kind
they
of
were
an
wearing
odd.
it out.
Well, the skin on your palms of your feet and the palms of your hand, if you notice, are a lot thicker than on the top. So you have to go through all those layers of skin just to get it to stay. So if you don't go deep enough, it just falls out. It's called fallout, and it kind of makes your hand look dirty. You know, it doesn't look like a tattoo anymore. It's just spotty, and
Yeah.
that's why I've never done it to my hands. I like my hands like that. Tattoo the top, it stays. The sides of the fingers and the palms just don't work as well.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's trends for tattoos. What about for piercings?
Piercings, very popular septum. That's
Okay.
probably the most popular piercing for girls right now. Even guys, a lot of guys,
Yeah,
but
a lot of
more.
guys
It's
have it.
more girls right now, though.
Do you see a certain age range, or is it kind of?
Yeah, 20, anywhere from I'd say 16 to 25.
Okay.
You don't see it in the more mature, because
Yeah.
life takes on a whole different direction for some people. As you get older. Me, I've just never grown up. I mean, I
Oh,
turned
we can
43
tell.
I turned 43 this year, so
You
yeah.
turned 43, really? Oh, I would have
July.
thought you were younger than that.
I like you.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your piercings and tattoos. Cause you have, I'm like looking at you and my eyes don't know where to go.
Covered. I'm actually getting tattooed tonight.
What are you getting?
I have my entire back tattooed already.
You covered up top.
I covered up Thompson. You can't even say it. I love it.
Thompson. Thompson. I can't. That's tough.
I don't tell too many people that.
Well,
now
I'm very
everybody
flattered.
knows, but yeah. Mistakes happen.
Yeah,
It's kind of
totally.
it's a funny story though. It
I
really
appreciate
is.
it.
It really is. But so I've had my back tattooed 4 times. Thompson,
Okay.
the mural,
Yeah.
the negative like jailhouse mural thing.
Okay.
Then I had, my second tattoo in Body Electric was my back piece, and you can see it. It's pretty crazy. It's all black and gray.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way down to my butt, about that far down my butt. So now today I'm putting a pentagram over the entire top in FTW in black letters, solid black, on top of the tattoo. So it's going to be 2-dimensional.
That's cool.
And I'm excited. So that's tonight.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I don't know. I've always just been able to come up with stuff. It's weird.
I know, for your ears, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, my mom's gonna see this interview and she's gonna be like a little scared. She's gonna be like, "How did he do that? Doesn't that kill him? Does it?"
It hurts when you stretch, but not.
Oh,
now.
it does hurt.
It's like, does your ears hurt right now with your studs
They
in?
kill.
No, they
actually.
don't.
No, they don't hurt at all. They don't hurt. At all.
No, it hurts when you stretch, but
And then do you
not
have to do
anymore.
it like you obviously
slowly. Yeah,
right?
I started out with the same size you have right there,
Okay.
and just gradually go bigger, 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 bigger.
And
There
then-
was not. No, don't get me wrong. There were some sleepless nights. I mean,
Really?
oh yeah.
They hurt. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts when you stretch. It just doesn't hurt forever. Pain is temporary.
Yeah.
Vanity is forever. Right?
Yeah. You're gonna be vain forever.
Yeah. Come on. Look at me. I mean, you don't look like this and not want people to see you. I mean, it's like celebrities that get bothered when people come up to them. Well, you're a freaking celebrity, dude. Like,
Yeah.
there's other things you could have done. You could have been a construction or a carpenter. No one's gonna run up to you probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you could do that nobody would know, but you're in the public eye. You just got to deal with it. It's part of it. And last night I went to the Comedy Store. And they were making fun of me, and I thought it was funny.
Oh, they're the stand-up. What were they saying?
Just that I was unemployable, and it was just so fun. I don't say anything back. I don't want to, because the more you say,
The more they get you? Yeah.
because they're good. It's their job. They're just
Totally.
they're like a machine gun. They'll just tear you apart.
Yeah.
So I just shut up and laugh, and they eventually go away. But yeah, they were just making fun of me, saying that I have a face only a mom could love, and I mean it was funny. But some people have a negative reaction. I'll walk into a restaurant. I've learned this from watching girls. Like, girls don't make eye contact with men very often because if they do, some guys, oh, she looked at you, go talk, So they don't make really eye contact. So what I've learned is if I don't make eye contact, I don't see it. So
That's true.
I'll walk into a restaurant. and I'll see someone at a table go like this.
Like they are saying that
They're talking and then they're shaking their head.
First of all, who does that anymore?
And it's like, well, no. She's making like a.
Oh, being like, look at his
ears, like they're drawing it out and then going like this, and it's like, dude, I can see you.
Yeah.
I can see you. Like that's not cool. It's not nice. But so what I stopped doing is looking at people.
That's good.
And then I don't see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist, right?
What does your mom say about it?
She cried the first time. You know what she actually did?
What?
So she saw a picture somewhere of my hands.
Yeah.
And she calls me and she's like, "You tattooed your hands too?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, what are you gonna do? Just tattoo everything? And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "When are you gonna stop?" I'm like, "Never." And she's like, "You're gonna tattoo your thingy too?" And I was like, "No." And she goes, "Why? You scared?" I was like, "Mom, don't fuck with me. I'll do it just to put, you know, like,
Yeah.
tattoo my thingy." I love that she called it my thingy.
I love that she called that too.
Yeah.
What about your head? I mean, I know you have these
actually
on your
wanna
ears,
laser off. I don't like these anymore.
behind your ear.
Yeah, I just don't like it anymore.
I mean, you have a lot of room up here.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say you're bald and you have a lot of room. No, I'm not.
Shit.
I'm just stating the obvious. I'm saying that you have a pretty good, empty palate.
You're on thin ice right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have a lot of room. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm ugly enough. I don't need to contribute to it. I think if I added tattoos to my face and head, it would make me.
I don't think you should do
no,
it.
I won't. I
Okay.
don't want to do it. I don't even think I'm going to tattoo my neck. I love fashion. I love changing my fashion. I don't like being stereotyped into one type of, you know how some people, they have a style and that's all they have?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think your style should be your mood. Like, you should change your style every day you wake up.
Couldn't agree more.
I love that, and I dress crazy sometimes, and I like it. Today I felt like wearing this. Tomorrow I may feel like wearing a suit or not or whatever. I wear these drop crotch pants a lot, and I'll put a sports coat with it, and people are just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I love it.
That sounds great.
That's,
I like
that's
that
what.
too.
Yeah, I love changing it up. Makes you feel good. Clothes and jewelry. I love it. Like, why not?
Why not? That's gonna be